Hi guys, Katie Lee, CGC, and welcome back to my channel. Today, it's the weekend, and I thought sometimes on the weekend I'd like to have a little bit more of a candid discussion about my experiences with miscarriage and kind of just whatever I felt like talking about. Less educational, more just opinion based. And I decided, I'm super excited about this, that I would call it Kegs and Eggs. So I don't know if anyone had a college experience like me. It entailed lots of drinking, lots of cramming for exams, lots of all-nighters. I don't know what I was doing. But Kegs and Eggs was a thing that happened where you either stay up all night partying and then you just have eggs in the morning, like for breakfast. You have your breakfast and you just keep drinking. Why? I don't know. Sounds like a terrible idea, but it's something that we did. Or you can do it a different way. You can also go to bed, after bar close, wake back up at 6 a.m. to have your eggs and have more drinks. So I thought I would call this Kegs and Eggs because kegs, I'm going to have a drink with you guys and chat. Eggs, I mean oocytes, not eggs like we eat, but the eggs in my body. So I'm going to talk about my eggs, my story with my eggs, and have a drink with you guys. Normally, I think I'd be having an alcoholic drink, like a beer. I like beers on the weekend, but I'm doing a nice dry January. Thank you to my sister-in-law. So today I'm having this Hum Kombucha, 0 calories, blood orange flavor. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's not a beer and it's not sugary kombucha either. It's fine. But I thought today I would talk about reflecting on 2020 and goal setting for 2021. I started a tradition again with my sister-in-law, my only COVID friend here that I see regularly, that we do this yoga girl or Rachel Brethren, yeah, Rachel Brethren's reflection on the year that is just closing and intention setting on the new year. And we did that a few days ago we did it on the 1st. I know for pretty much everyone, 2020 was a terrible year. And for me, it was truly an absolutely awful year. I think of it as like the year of miscarriages. A little bit about my history. I had one miscarriage in December of 2018, one in November, December of 2020 or 2019. And after each of those, I kind of thought, I know from being a genetic counselor who works in fertility that 30% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. So after my first one, I was like, okay, this happens. It absolutely sucked. And I needed to take a whole year to get back to feeling like myself before I even wanted to try again. But I knew that most likely it wasn't going to happen again. And the same thing after my second one, 30% of miscarriages or 30% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. I knew that it probably wasn't going to happen again. But this year I had 3 more. And it's kind of even hard to remember the dates anymore. I think in February, July, and again in November this year. And this was the year where I had to start realizing and accepting, kind of beginning with that first one in 2020, that this may not just be bad luck anymore. There really might be something wrong. I might not be able to have another kiddo. And, there's probably more to it. And with each consecutive one, I've had to think more seriously about what are my other options, growing my family in different ways, not growing my family and having my sonny as an only child. What are my plans, B, C, D, E, F, and so on. So this year has been really hard in a different way from those other years with miscarriages. It was really hard for me to do my reflection because it just was honestly painful. Thinking about what a sucky year it was, realizing that I might not get to have another kid. And definitely, possibly not a biological child, and possibly not without reproductive medicine's help. So that was mostly what my reflection on the year of 2020 was. And I know for all of us, it was extra crappy because of COVID and not being able to see family and friends and not being able to travel like a lot of us are used to. But mine was really the most of the suck was around the miscarriages. But I wanted to just share that this reflection, I really recommend that everyone out there do it. It's so, so good. I'm going to link it again one more time right here. It's just a really great way to close a year. And some of her stuff is a little too hippy dippy for me. She's super into astrology. She put like a rock and something to represent water, something to represent air, something to represent earth in front of her before doing that. I mean, you can leave some, take it or leave it. That's what I think. But overall, I really, really like it and I recommend it. For me, 2021 is a little bit about thinking what I really want to do, what me and my partner want to do with trying to build our family, and thinking about, like I said, all of those different options, like just stopping, getting on birth control so I don't become pregnant and don't have to go through any more miscarriages, or taking a break. Maybe it's not a permanent stop, but taking a break for a year to just have a moment to not have to worry about getting pregnant and not have to worry about miscarrying. So we're also thinking about, fostering and adoption. All of those other options are on the table too. Really everything is, as well as just keeping trying and hoping for the best, even though there's been no cause identified for my miscarriages yet. Whether you are one of my friends who's listening, hi guys, whether you're a genetic counseling student, an applicant for genetic counseling programs, or somebody who's just starting their career, or if you're here because you've been experiencing miscarriages, I think that this 2020 reflection and 2021 intention setting is a fantastic way to start off a new year and to really help it feel like a fresh chapter in your life. The 4 areas Rachel focuses on are, and I don't think this is unique to her, this is, 4 general areas of our life: body, home, mind, and spirit or soul. Especially with miscarriages and with most big things in your life, it hits in all of those categories. It affects your body dramatically. It affects your mind. It definitely affects your home life, your relationships with your partner and your friends. And it certainly can affect you spiritually too. So it was a really good way to reflect and kind of get excited for 2021 after a year that just feels so depressing. And it left me feeling good and more excited for the new year. So I recommend it to you guys. And if there's any topics you'd like to hear me talk about next time on Kegs and Eggs, please write them below. And I think I'm supposed to say this because I'm like a YouTuber now. Like this video and hit subscribe. And I rate this drink, maybe now that I've had a little bit more of it, like a 6 out of 10.